You don't want to be walking around in circles, getting lost, and wasting your valuable time whilst here in Florence. However, having said that, sometimes getting lost can reveal some incredible surprises too. Walking through Florence for the first time is like stepping into a Renaissance painting. Every corner tells a story. Every street whispers history. But to get the most out of your time whilst in Florence, you need the correct path to follow. So let's explore Florence together. Without the confusion, just the magic. Let's go. Expat Lifestyle with Bads. Share, thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. In this episode, I'm going to take you on a recommended walk that I encourage you to also undertake when and if you visit Florence. Now, let's go exploring. And this map will make sure that your journey is truly unforgettable. Now, I've walked this path several times with family and friends when they visit Florence. And you know what? It works. So let me provide you in this episode a little snapshot of this map right now. And of course you can start wherever you want depending upon where you're staying here in Florence. Now with all that in mind, I'm going to start at location number 1 on the map. So imagine starting at the Piazza del Duomo, where the towering cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore is, with the baptistery, the bell tower. It's an iconic structure of Florence. It's a huge structure of Florence, and I do encourage you to walk around its perimeter. Perhaps go inside and explore the wonders of this cathedral. Having said that, personally I do prefer the Basilica down at Santa Croce. Now, will you climb the bell tower? Because you do get fantastic 360-degree views of Florence. But you know what's missing from the skyline? The Duomo itself. So later on this walk, I'm going to show you a location where perhaps you might want to explore climbing that particular tower. For you see, at the top of that tower, you get the breathtaking view of the Duomo. We walk towards the Repubblica, known as the commercial centre of Florence and home to the oldest cafe in Florence, the Gilly Cafe. Certainly worth a visit. The magical carousel is worth a ride, particularly if you've got children or you're a kid at heart. €1.50, and you've got several minutes there to enjoy. It's a lovely spot to visit at night because the carousel emits some beautiful lighting. So as you depart from the Repubblica and head towards the Piazza della Signoria, you will be encountered with 2 beautiful buildings, the Lana Wool Building and behind that the Orsan Michelangelo. The wool building dates back to the Middle Ages, early Middle Ages, and it's connected to the wool trade, one of the key commercial activities during the Middle Ages. And behind that, an old granary, which was turned into a Gothic church. And might I add, just before getting to the Piazza della Signoria, you might want to come back and visit the Orsan Michelangelo and particularly go upstairs to the museum, because up there you get some magical views of the Duomo and also the Palazzo Vecchio. Once having taken some great photos, it's a very, very short walk to the Piazza della Signoria. This square is the political hub of Florence. It has been for centuries and still is today. The piazza features a striking open-air sculpture gallery featuring some fantastic works of art, and I'll show you them in the video right now. In front of the old palace, there's a replica of Michelangelo's David. Just striking. My recommendation is to climb the tower of the Palazzo Vecchio here rather than the Duomo. And as you'll see, you get some beautiful 360-degree views of Florence, but you also get to see the Duomo in all of its grandeur. And you know what? This one's a little bit of a hidden gem, because as you can see, when I was up there, I had the whole tower to myself. Now that was special. So currently on the map we are at locations 3 and 4, and the Uffizi Gallery is just a stone's throw away from the Piazza della Signoria. And within, it's, I guess, a half-day visit for sure, you're going to experience some beautiful works of art in there. And some lovely views of the Arno River and the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge. Now here is some good advice if you're going to be visiting Florence on the first Sunday of each month. For you see, on that day, the first Sunday of each month, most of the museums, churches and so on have free entry. Yes, there are long lines, but you get yourself up early and you can get a nice cheap entry, zero, into those attractions. And with another very short walk, you'll arrive at the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge. The famous bridge lined with jewellery shops, and it is wonderful to visit when those shops are open. The place is buzzing, but it's just as beautiful as you can see of an evening, because looking west, if you're lucky, you'll capture some beautiful sunsets. So we find ourselves at locations number 5 and 6 on the map. After crossing the old bridge, the Ponte Vecchio, you'll find yourself in the Oltrarno district. Oltrarno meaning beyond the Arno. And this area to the south side of the Arno River is known for its authentic, less touristy atmosphere, artisan workshops and historical sites. It includes the famous landmarks like the Pitti Palace, which I encourage you to walk by on this particular walk, and behind the Pitti Palace are the Boboli Gardens. Well worth a visit if you have time. The map then takes you to a lovely area that I enjoy visiting, Santo Spirito. The piazza there has quite a few cafes that I recommend you stop for a refreshment, and the beautiful Basilica of Santo Spirito, where you'll find a carving of Jesus created by a very young Michelangelo. And it is on this side of the Arno that can offer some amazing views of the city, especially from Piazzale Michelangelo, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. Now I do encourage you to have a cold one or a Vino della Casa, the house red, up at Santo Spirito. It's a great piazza, so atmospheric. From there, you then walk towards the Santa Trinita Bridge, where I am right now, and you'll see on the map, this is at location 8. On my right, you get some wonderful views of the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge. And to my left, hopefully, a lovely sunset. And this bridge will take you back into the historical centre of Florence. And right in front of me is the Piazza of Santa Trinita. Well worth a visit, which leads into the Tornabuoni, the fashion street, the high-end shops of Florence. Now at the river end of the Tornabuoni is the Piazza Santa Trinita. And in front of me you can see the Justice Column. Now this column is an ancient Roman column that was donated by the Pope to Cosimo Medici in the 1500s, after Florence had defeated the Siena in a big battle, therefore ensuring the strength of Florence. This piazza is just lovely. Now with the Justice Column behind me, which is so symbolic of the power of the Medici, we enter the Tornabuoni. So a quick reveal of the map will show us at location number 9 and the conclusion of our introductory walk around Florence. I'm surrounded now with some of the high-end shopping establishments like Tiffany, Prada, Gucci's just up the road here. All those places where I don't shop. It's great to walk along, and because I live in this neighbourhood, I really do enjoy seeing some of the fashions that are presented in the shop windows, and sometimes I'm thinking, are you kidding? But nevertheless, they're there to have a look at and make those judgment calls. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this walk, and that leads into the second part of this episode, where I also explore with you some of those fantastic locations off this beaten path, but very, very close. For instance, the Basilica at San Lorenzo, Accademia, where the original David can be found. The Basilica of Santa Croce is fantastic, as is the Basilica at Santa Maria Novella, where the original perfumery can be found, and that's worth a visit. Finally, let's get up to Piazzale Michelangelo for those fantastic views overlooking the city of Florence. Personally, I think that introductory walk is a great option for you, but please let me know if you do undertake it, how it went. Be much appreciated. Now, in addition to that introductory walk, I've got another little map here for you to look at right now, and you'll see that introductory walk is a bit like the hub of a wheel, and then we have spokes moving out from that hub. And by the way, the following locations are quite close. For example, Accademia Gallery, where the authentic, the original man himself, David, Michelangelo's David, is housed. From the Duomo, it's about a 3-minute walk. And look, for most people, me included, I wanted to see the original David, and I was not disappointed. It is a fantastic gallery to visit. It's a small gallery, and really David, Michelangelo's David, is a central piece there. You probably only need an hour or so, but it is awe-inspiring when you turn the corner and you see David in his finery. Just imagine a 5-metre block of stone. How did Michelangelo carve that with, you know, hammer and chisel and sandpaper, basically? Just amazing. Now also, just a very short walk from the Duomo is Basilica of San Lorenzo and the Medici chapels. Literally 2 or 3 minutes away. Now, this is one where you've heard the expression, you can't judge a book by its cover. For you see, both the San Lorenzo Basilica and the Medici chapels don't look much from the outside, but within, have a look at this. The Chapel of the Princes is a lavish, domed mausoleum featuring intricate marble inlays and grand decorations. The new sacristy, designed by Michelangelo, contains the tombs of Lorenzo and Guglielmo Medici, adorned with his famous sculptures. Well worth a visit. That's Medici Chapel, just adjacent to the Basilica of San Lorenzo. Don't judge a book by its cover. Now, number 4 on the map, the Piazza of Santa Maria Novella contains the Basilica of Santa Maria Novella, and within the Basilica we have the original perfumery. The original perfumes that were developed by the monks back in the 16th century. Okay, originally to hopefully as a remedy for the plague, but their potions soon developed into perfumes. Now the perfumery is just around the corner from the Santa Maria Novella Piazza, and that is well worth a visit. A free entry, just a lovely building to see. Now, over the river on the southern side of the Arno in the Oltrarno district, just behind the Pitti Palace, are the Boboli Gardens. The Boboli Gardens are a vast and historic open-air museum behind the Pitti Palace, serving as one of the finest examples of Italian Renaissance gardens, created in the 16th century by the Medici family. The Basilica of Santa Croce is well worth visiting. It's about an 800-metre walk from the Duomo. You will enter the lovely Piazza of Santa Croce, and at the eastern end you can see the beautiful church of Santa Croce. Buried within the tombs of Michelangelo, Galileo, Machiavelli and so on. Founded in the late 13th century by the Franciscan monks. Well worth a visit, and importantly, behind the church you'll find the wonderful Italian School of Leather. Well worth a visit. Genuine, authentic Italian leather made in the old-fashioned way. Visit this school and you'll see authentic medieval tools being used. You could get your initials branded onto an item, a bag for instance. Lovely. And the facade of the church where the leather school is just wonderful to see, particularly if you get a nice sunny day. And finally, number one on my map, number two, requires a little bit more effort in terms of walking. So it's a little bit further out, and I'm talking about the Piazzale Michelangelo. Once crossing the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge, it's a lovely walk in an easterly direction. You walk through San Nicolo, a lovely authentic part of Florence, and then a bit of a steep climb which takes you to the scenic lookout, the Piazzale Michelangelo. It's a lovely bronze copy of Michelangelo's David, and this whole area, this scenic lookout, was designed by Giuseppe Poggi to showcase the beautiful view of Florence, and he certainly has captured that. It's a very popular destination. It's a wonderful walk, and if you can manage it at sunset, if you're lucky, you'll get some lovely images that you can take with you as a lasting memory. So that's the Piazzale Michelangelo. Well worth a walk, and on the way maybe sample a nice Aperol Spritz halfway up the hill, and just enjoy that little sojourn a little bit out of the historical centre of Florence. Look, I know personally Florence is best explored on foot, and your first walk here should be both exhilarating and overwhelming or inspiring. Now I want to share with you a few additional tips to take with you when you do arrive. So firstly, wear comfortable shoes. Walking on the cobblestones in the incorrect footwear is not going to end well for you. Start early, beat the crowds. It's so atmospheric early in the morning for your photos and so on. So get out of bed early and get out there, beat the crowds. In summer, you'll beat the heat as well. Take your time, importantly. Stop and smell the roses. Now plan your route, and the point of this episode is that I've planned it for you. I know it works because I've visited all of these locations several times. I've even seen David after the museum's closed. I was very fortunate to be in a small group tour. Can you hear that? The Duomo. It must be 7 p.m. But I'm going to keep talking, okay? It's so wonderful. You know what, in the morning, 7 a.m, the first chimes, I don't have to look at my watch when I hear that, I know. Number 6, don't miss the views. So walk up to Piazzale Michelangelo, get up to the top of the Duomo, or perhaps the tower at the Palazzo Vecchio. And also remember to look back, because there's always great views behind you too. Number 6, make sure you hydrate regularly and keep the food, the energy levels up. Otherwise, you're going to fall flat in the afternoon. And look, there's so many lovely cafes, bars, restaurants to choose from. You're spoiled for choice here in Florence. Just mind the opening hours. Most establishments, shops for instance, 10 a.m. The museums will be 9 a.m. So do your research there, find out the current prices for entry and also the opening times. That's important. And remember, first Sunday of the month, if you're here in Florence, your museums and so on will be free entry. What a bargain. So that's it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you can take something with you when and if you venture to Florence. It's a beautiful city. Expat Lifestyle with Bads. Share, thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next episode. Ciao.